Good evening, everybody. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and I'm going to make this video response to Johnny Berchtold. And I do appreciate all the comments, I really do. And so I thought I'd just go through them one by one. First of all, Johnny Berchtold says, thank you for the video response. You're quite welcome. It was my pleasure doing this. It says, however, you completely overanalyzed this film. Actually, no, I have not. I actually lived some of this film. So let's go through this step by step, and you'll begin to see that I haven't overanalyzed it. What you call overanalyzation is stuff that I actually lived through. That's the difference. Okay, and I believe you missed the point of the story. No, it pretty much hit me on the nose. It's actually you missed the point of my commentary. So I'm going to clarify a few things. It was only a student film that happened to get some attention, and no, her parents aren't supportive. I agree, her parents are not supportive. Therefore, I wasn't going to show a montage of joyous clips of her mother teaching her how to cook, which I'll get into that a little bit later too. Again, thank you for your response, but you thought way into it. No, I lived a lot of this. Also, I didn't know your channel existed. That's perfectly okay. Eventually, you're all going to figure out that my channel exists, and you'll have a greater appreciation for it. So, therefore, it wasn't the YouTube montage. That's okay. Eventually, it will be. Okay, so let's go with Carrie Scannell. Carrie Scannell. I'm sorry, but have you ever studied anything about film? No, I certainly have not studied anything about film. I have, and this critique is completely off the mark. No, it's because I lived a lot of it. Each of the events occurring in this short film shows aspects of her life that led to her unhappiness. That I agree with. They are not events to be read into so deeply. Well, if you had lived some of them, you would read into them a lot more deeply. It is a fictional story of a girl finding the only happiness in a bad day through watching funny YouTube videos. I will get into that later. She finds her ultimate true happiness and confidence through making her own videos, and tiny events here don't matter, sir. They do if you live them. Owly Tuesday. This one's the big one I want to get into. I went to the high school this was filmed at, and if an outcast dropped her books, they probably would just laugh, and that'd be it, because that's how the students that go there are. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you about a real-life experience I had. Now, I don't know if you know that much about mead trapper keepers, but I actually owned a mead trapper keeper. I bought one every year I was in school. Okay, I also had a book bag. And the reason why I did is because I faced a real big line of bullyism. It was the same kid. I had been bullied by this same kid from the 5th grade to my senior year. So instead of keeping all the stuff in my locker, which he would have a tendency to try to break into, well, he tried once, and then when he figured out that there wasn't anything in the locker because I kept all my stuff in my book bag rather than in the locker, he didn't do that anymore. It was pointless, and he knew it. So, the target was no longer my locker, but it was my trapper keeper and my book bag, which I kept at my side at all times. Anyway, one day I was on the stage. We had an actual stage in our school, and while I was on the stage, the trapper keeper they took it right out of my hands, and I had set my book bag off to the side. They took that as well, and they threw it across the stage before I was accosted. That really happened. That's really true. Okay, so I don't know how things are your school, but that really happened to me. So that really hit me hard. Anyway, let's continue on. You do know that buses drop kids off like down the street, right? If it's a safe neighborhood, there's no need for parents to baby a high schooler. Okay. Between bullying, okay, and between abductions, and you can ask John Walsh about this, there is no such thing as a safe neighborhood. None. Zip. Zero. Zip. There are so many places they said, well, this was a safe neighborhood. It turned out it wasn't a safe neighborhood. Even going down the street was not a safe thing to do. So you're absolutely wrong there. And if you'd like, I'll bring up tons of stories that will back me up. Just go on to ask John Walsh. He'll tell you how unsafe Every neighborhood is. So you're absolutely way off base on that one. Okay? Now, when I was in school, I was advised not to ride the school bus because the school bully was riding the school bus and I was his principal target. At that time, I was not the healthiest kid in America. Now, I'm not going to go into big details about anything that was going on at that time, but I am going to tell you I was not exactly the healthiest kid in America. So, it was very ill-advised for me to ride a school bus with him on board. It was better to keep the two of us apart than to start a war. Period. So, school bus was not really an option for me. Walking down the street was also not an option. So, yes, my parents actually transported me back and forth to school until graduation day, and it was the end of the day on graduation day that I actually walked home because I really didn't feel I was in any danger. Okay. The point of the pizza was to convey that her parents aren't very attentive. I agree. As her mother didn't even turn around to say hello. Again, I agree. It's kind of contradictory that you expect the parents to baby her to the point of dropping her off at school, picking her up, but also to expect the parents to teach her how to make her own meals, especially during weekdays when the kids are the busiest. Okay. When I was home on the weekends, growing up as a teenager, my mother taught me how to prepare my meals for the week. She also taught me how to prepare my clothes and everything else. She showed me organizational skills that I was then therefore able to carry on when I went into my first job, and I have been able to carry on since then. So when I prepared the meals for the week, I would then put them in the freezer and have them frozen, and then all I'd have to do is take them out, put them in the microwave, which we actually did have a microwave. We did not have a color television, but we did have a microwave, and I was able to thaw out my meals and eat them. So you're wrong there. No, I do not expect the parents to teach the kids on the weekdays, but on the weekends to prepare the weekly meals, yes, I believe in that. Because that's what my mother taught me. Whew. The point of the video wasn't for her to watch stuff you like. It's not about stuff I like. It is about things that I'm able to teach her. Okay? I am able to teach her enough high academics that she can move into advanced placement courses, which would take her away from bullyism. It was just showing channels that are popular right now. Well, I know those channels are popular right now, and I didn't mind her watching them. Again, you're reading too much into what I said. I said it's okay for her to watch that kind of stuff, but not just all that kind of stuff. She needs to be watching educational stuff as well. The number one reason why people are facing eviction, starvation, and bullyism right now is because of their lack of education. And that's what I'm here to fix on my channel. Period. Alright. You do know this video was fictional, right? Yes, I know it's fictional. But the things that were in that video, I lived a lot of them. So, for me, they weren't so fictional. Now, were they? She didn't actually go out and buy the tripod. Everything that I ever owned in my house, my mother made me work for. Except for like Christmas or birthday, okay? If it wasn't Christmas, it wasn't birthday, I earned every single thing I ever owned. Period. It was a good work ethic that she taught me that went into my job, and that's why I became a very valuable employee a lot of times. Okay? Again, the video was fictional, but I lived a lot of it. How do you expect her to make friends to get off the bus with her when the entire video was about how she had a problem making friends? Well, that's what this channel is all about, to show you how to make friends. And if you ever want an explanation about that, I'll happily give it to you. Alright. And lastly, I think a guy like you should definitely be spending his time making videos that aren't so critical and vindictive. No, they are educational. Not critical, not vindictive, educational. Obviously, you learn nothing from this. Maybe this video will teach you some things. Other than all that, you had some good tips, but I think this video needs some revising. It doesn't need revising. Your education needs some revising. And hopefully this video will do that. Chaos Within 1342, I want to hit you repeatedly. That is bullyism, and you need to get off YouTube. I don't need this kind of bullyism. I had it in school, and I'm not going to tolerate it here. And you will not be invited back to my channel. Period. Okay. Crank Dat Mantra 27. Is this addressed to the maker of this video? It is addressed to the maker of the video. Or the negligent mother of the girl? No, it's addressed to the maker of the video. The whole point is she's not getting the love and support at home. I agree. That doesn't make it unrealistic, which, since I lived a lot of it, I can tell you how realistic this is. That is a prominent part of the fictional story about the inspiration YouTube brings to our life. This video is not based on parenting skills. It probably should be. Ha 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 ha, writes Alexis Connolly. This wasn't serious, right? Yes, it was very serious. How is any of this relevant? Well, I think I just explained all that to you. Esther Rock 1. This makes absolutely no sense. Well, hopefully, now that you've heard this, maybe it will. Okay. To summarize, I was the kid that had the Trapper Keeper and the book bag taken from me, thrown across the stage, and was accosted. So I know what that's like. I was advised not to ride on the school bus because the school bully was on the school bus, and it was best to keep the two of us as far apart as possible. And that's why I never rode a school bus until my junior year of high school, where I was actually going to a vocational center, and the school bully was not on the bus while I was riding it. So yes, my parents actually took me to and from school when I was a kid until graduation day. Alright? My parents taught me organizational skills, including how to prepare my meals for the week while I was a teenager. It was valuable. I am glad they did it, and it made it a lot easier when I actually entered the workforce to know those kind of skills. And I earned a whole lot of what I owned. If it wasn't from a birthday and it wasn't from Christmas, I earned it. And that was valuable to me. It taught me good work ethics, which I was then able to carry on into the workplace. So, hopefully I answered all your commentary. I thank you all for responding, except for Chaos Within 1342, which I am going to go ahead and block you because that's bullyism. I won't tolerate it. And if any of the rest of you have any commentary, you are more than welcome to leave it down here in the comments below. I will tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.